The thing about Paris is that it's one of those cities that no matter who you are or where you come from, you're going to dream of going there. Personally, I think it's something that's been ingrained in us since birth. This thirst for romanticism and adventure that we're told in the US doesn't have, but Paris is simply overflowing with. It's something exciting, exotic. And maybe you don't see that when you're staring at the Versailles or strolling down the Champs-Élysées or going through the Louvre. But let's just say there's a reason Paris is called the City of Lights. And so when the sky finally becomes that really dark, inky blue color, and everything just stands out and demands your attention, and there are almost no words to describe it, that's when it becomes really obvious. Now, the only problem with Paris is it takes forever to get dark. I mean, you wake up at 2 in the morning and it's bright outside, and boy, is that a scare. Can't help but think, but oh crap, woke up late. It's all that light pollution and stuff. It takes forever to get dark, which makes the whole looking at the Eiffel Tower at night thing kind of hard. Not impossible, just hard. And to be honest, if our tour guide wasn't insistent upon it and hadn't told us that no one just came to Paris without seeing the tower at night, we probably wouldn't have gone. It was almost 11 at night, and every bone in our body screamed for a soft bed and a nice hot shower, and yet we went. Oh sure, we griped to each other and gave each other looks that clearly said this tour guide was crazy. But truth is that by the end of it, regretting what we saw would have been even crazier. Breathtaking would have been an understatement. I mean, we all know what the Eiffel Tower looks like from those really tacky plastic sculptures and all. So I'm not going to pretend that I was expecting much. A lot of mutilated metal and ugly architecture, sure. But that's it. Nothing less and nothing more. And especially nothing even remotely beautiful. So imagine my surprise when that mutilated, ugly sculpture and metal architecture turned into something that I would never forget. The statues and the paintings never show it. But directly in front of the Eiffel Tower, there's this huge expanse of green grassy field called the Field of Mars. And it's a beautiful thing, lined with all these bushy trees and pretty flowers, and at the very front of it, there's this concrete structure with clear glass panes that have the word peace, written in small, white, elegant cursive. It's repeated over and over again, that word, in English and French and Spanish and Arabic and every other language possible. And when you look through the glass, you see the tower framed through its surface, and you see the scribble of white cursive curling around it, and there's nothing like that. It's weird that something so simple could be so spectacular. But maybe that's what makes it special, the simplicity. The whole thing was simple, really. And maybe that's really what made it so beautiful. I mean, there wasn't anything ornate about how college kids and young couples were spread out on the field with picnic baskets and blankets, waiting with smiles and animated gestures. There was nothing complicated about how the entire space was haphazardly buzzing with chatter and laughter and jumbles oops as pictures of friends tumbled on top of each other were snapped left and right. Not even the gypsies were organized as they weaved through blankets with light-up plastic models hanging around their necks and cheap wine in their hands, offering unbeatable prices and what I think was garbled English. But it was all of that combined. The gypsies and the college kids and everyone waving, excited and anticipating and waiting. That's what made it all so real. The entire thing was like looking at the clearest, most beautiful picture of the tower ever taking it and multiplying it by 1,000. See, it was lit up with this really antiquated type of yellow light, and the way it stood out against the dark sky was really breathtaking. It was almost like it was glowing from the inside, radiating in a way that probably shouldn't be possible. And then there were the spotlights hidden among the trees, shining upwards in a really cool way that cut through the sky and forced us to look at Paris's most treasured monument. Not that we weren't staring at it anyways, or talking about it, or taking pictures of it, or pretending to hold up hold it up under our shoulders, because apparently that's what you're supposed to do when you visit European monuments. But it was like the tower had consumed us, because everything we did was centered around that one jumble of iron and steel. Especially when it turned 11. When the antiquated yellow lights dimmed, and suddenly the entire tower was engulfed in these bright flashes of twinkling light. It was like stardust or something, the way the lights that were everywhere exploded forward in intervals before disappearing. And no one could look away. Some just stared, some took pictures, some stood at the edge of the field, and some sat in the very middle of it. Some laughed with friends, and some poked each other to attention. But there wasn't a person who wasn't staring. And for 5 whole minutes, those lights twinkled to attention like tiny supernovas, framed by twisted, shining metal that elegantly gleamed in the bursts of light. They could be seen all around Paris, not just by those of us in the field, but by Parisians in tiny flats, and couples strolling down the river, and all of us were staring at the tower we'd all seen before, situated in front of a pair of glass panes that said nothing but peace.